Harry Potter, the boy who lived, come to die.
Casting spells in the night. Evils gathering. Malfoy is a jerk. He lives in Slytherin. Voldemort's on the rise, and that sucks. Now we gotta go collect all the Horcrux, all the Horcrux, all the Horcrux. We gotta go collect all the Horcrux, all the Horcrux, all the Horcrux. We gotta go collect all the Horcrux.
Hello, he's Matt, I'm Nat, and we've got your geek news right here.
Man, I can't say I dig the original track, but I love the Harry Potter remix of Like a G6.
You know what? I cannot deny all the Horcrux is pretty badass, won't lie. You know what else is badass? Our next film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
You know, it had a bit of an Empire Strikes Back vibe for me. It was the darkest, the grittiest of the franchise for sure, and it had some real stakes for the characters.
Oh, not to mention the fact that the bad guys are in the lead by the end of part 1 of Deathly Hallows. Things do not look good for Harry and his friends.
Yeah, you can kind of look at Dobby as being Luke Skywalker's hand, if you think about it.
Oh my gosh.
Being the final chapter in the series, the movie is unlike any other before it. It is not for the casual film goer.
No, this movie was made for fans of the movies and fans of the books.
So let's dive into this epic Harry Potter story and look at it first as the 7th film in the series, and then as an adaptation of a novel that has been part of our collective consciousness for over a decade.
These are dark times, there is no denying.
Tell me where it is.
Our world has faced no greater threat than it does today. But you can't fight this war on your own, Mr. Potter. He's too strong.
Wow. Bill Nye, who was playing the Minister of Magic, was amazing in that first scene. His eyes, that close-up, and the way he was spitting out those foreboding words. I've never heard him quite sound like that before.
It was chilling. He's just another example of the fantastic cast of actors they've attracted to this franchise. But he introduces the incredibly dark tone of the film, and things only get more dreary from there, unfortunately.
And as for structure, the movie was completely different than any other film in this series. We really are following Harry, Ron, and Hermione on a road movie, this journey to find the rest of the Horcruxes.
We saw a teeny tiny bit of the Hogwarts Express where a burly and grown-up Neville made an appearance, but we didn't even see Hogwarts, which is crazy.
Well, technically in that flashback of Dumbledore falling to his
Come
death.
on, Matt, you know what I mean.
Okay, well, you know, technically that's stock footage, I guess, from the last movie. But another new element we saw in this film was an animated sequence.
So true. The way the Beetle the Bard tale was animated was just gorgeous. It was so stylish.
And watching the movie, you can't help but get invested in the burdens of everyone on screen. You just feel for these characters, especially if you're a fan who's already jumped on the bandwagon early.
Oh yeah, it made me cry in a couple of spots. Honestly, I mean, death and separation are huge themes in this story, and just some chilling moments with, you know, the punishment and the torture. It was
Absolutely.
crazy.
Like when Hermione had mudblood carved into her arm by Bellatrix. Oh.
Yeah, again, chilling. It was chilling in the book and more so in the movie because we could actually hear her screams.
Now, speaking of the book, let's get right into looking at it as an adaptation of at least the first half of a book.
How can I help you, Mr. Potter?
Well, actually, it was about something you were wearing around your neck at the wedding. It was a symbol.
You mean this?
Yes. That exactly. What we wondered is, what is it?
What is it? Well, it's the sign of the Deathly Hallows, of course.
The what?
The what?
The Deathly Hallows.
Aside from being in love with this world since the novels first came out, it is so good seeing these kids grow up with the characters. They've turned Harry and the gang into characters we can enjoy outside of that wondrous world of Hogwarts.
This movie may have been the most true to the novels out of any of the Harry Potter movies, actually.
Absolutely. Seeing the details brought to life in Deathly Hallows was exceptional. Like the new gruesome statue in the Ministry of Magic with the mudbloods being crushed. Like when I first laid eyes on that, I was just like,
Yeah,
wow.
and I was wondering whether David Yates was actually going to make anyone call out and say, hey, look, because from reading the book, you're waiting to see it. And
yeah.
then when Hermione actually comes out and says, oh, wow, look at that, and describes it, you get even more
You get the
chilled.
tone of the new rule in the Ministry just from that statue.
The little things that Yates is doing, like showing Bellatrix's hair falling onto Hermione's coat for part 2. Important stuff, important stuff.
Although they did make a much bigger deal of that than of Harry stealing Malfoy's wand.
Yeah, which is essential in the battle at the end of part 2.
You know what, I actually appreciated Draco Malfoy in this one. I mean, he did that internal conflict thing pretty convincingly, which is good, I guess, because I usually despise him. But in this, I actually felt sorry for him.
I thought all the Malfoys were great in this. They really make you realize that they're just nasty. In the first movie, you thought they were the worst things imaginable, but they really make you see that at the end of the day, when they're faced with pure evil, they just choke. They don't mind being jerks and bullies, but that's as far as they can take it. They are way out of their evil league.
Well, obviously, there were some itty-bitty changes between the movie and the book, but all in all, a pretty fantastic adaptation.
If I had anything that I could say was a fault, it's that it might be a little too faithful to the source material, which is why some people found it a little bit too long.
Which I can understand if you haven't been following this odyssey for the last decade. But to be honest, after that final scene where Voldemort digs out the Elder Wand from Dumbledore's grave and the credits started rolling, I honestly could have sat through at least another 2.5 hours of the film just to get to see the full story.
And that begs the big question. Was it a good movie or a good adaptation?
Well, the movie was clearly well done. David Yates did not disappoint.
The visuals were gorgeous, the color and aesthetic were perfectly fitting to the tone of this one. Everything is very shadowy and muted.
And the music and the audio was awesome. The theme song has taken on this really dark and foreboding tone, which you never would have felt possible 10 years ago.
And at this point in the series, they are not trying to make new Harry Potter fans. This is a race to the finish. If you didn't like Deathly Hallows, you probably didn't like any of them. This was not for the casual film goer. This is for the fans.
And because the fans of the book know what comes next, that cliffhanger was perfect.
You could feel the end of the movie coming as soon as that last scene began. The sense was that evil was getting the upper hand right away.
I totally agree. Having said that, I can't wait until part 2 comes out next summer. 2011 cannot come soon enough, Matt.
So remember to keep your eyes right here for a look at all your geek movies and all your geek games.
Wait. Are you seriously not going to talk about that thing on your face?
What? You mean this luxurious mustache?
Yeah, let's get some Movember action on here. You're not growing that lip sweater for nothing.
Okay, fair enough. I've been growing this mighty mo for prostate cancer. And if you'd like to donate to my macho man stash, hit up my Mo space and all the proceeds go directly to finding a cure, courtesy of Movember.com.
Exactly. And you can keep up with all our past previews and reviews and have your say on yourgeeknews.com. Very nice, Matt.
You bring news, I trust?
It will happen Saturday next, at nightfall.
I've heard differently, my lord. Dawlish the Aura has let slip that the Potter boy will not be moved until the 30th of this month, the day before he turns 17.
This is a false trail. The Aura Office no longer plays any part in the protection of Harry Potter.
Where will he be taken, the boy?
To a safe house. Most likely the home of someone in the Order. I'm told it's been given every manner of protection possible. Once there, it will be impractical to attack him.
My lord, I'd like to volunteer myself for this task.
I must be the one to kill Harry Potter.